Welcome to the Weekly Homicide Report, the weekly program where we talk about all the people that needlessly died at the hands of another person. Now, last week, because of Thanksgiving, I did this video a day early, so this week's video will have 8 days on it, then back on schedule for next week through the rest of the year. So let's take a look at this week's graph. Chicago had 15 homicides, 9 of which occurred over the holiday weekend. They have had one murder for every 12 and a half hours so far this year. Philadelphia added 7 homicides. They currently sit at 472 on the year, 38 lower than where they were at this time last year. Baltimore had 9 murders. They've only had more than 9 once in the last 4 months, so that's a big week for them. Milwaukee had 4 homicides. This is their normal weekly average. The 205 homicides are 22 higher than they were during this time last year, which was a record-breaking year. Washington, D.C. added 5 homicides. The 190 is 15 less than where they were at this time last year. Violent crime in D.C. is said to be 6% lower than this time last year. And Minneapolis just can't be trusted. For 3 weeks, their website has said 74 homicides. I had read articles on people being murdered during that time and wondered why that number never went up. And now the website says 72. So after 3 weeks of being 74, it's now fallen by 2. I'm leaving the total on the graph at 74, though. There were 12 mass shootings last week. I covered the Tallahassee, Florida one, but Atlanta had 2 in back-to-back days, and there were 2 on Thanksgiving Day. And Chicago, Houston, New Orleans, each of those all had 1. There was only 1 school shooting last week, and that was the Tallahassee, Florida A&M University mass shooting. There were 4 children under the age of 11 and 37 between the ages of 12 and 17 shot and killed last week. The number for the little kids is normal, but the teenagers are generally in the mid to upper 20s, so 37 is kind of a lot. There were 18 defensive use of a firearm incidents. I covered 1 of them. I'm still trying to cover more of these, but most of them, they don't really have much of a story to them. And no police officers or canines were killed in the line of duty last week, thankfully. Well, that's all I have for you today, but I'll be back next week with the Week 49 numbers. Until then, have a great week, and I'll catch you next week. Support this channel and pick yourself up some original crime-related apparel. Look for the link in the description.